He always dreamed of having a son. For him, a boy was not just a child, but a symbol of power, respect, and pride. From the very first day of marriage, he told his wife, "I want a son, at any cost." But on the day of delivery, when the midwife came out of the room, what she revealed changed everything, forever. Stay with me till the end of this story. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more life-changing tales like this. In one small African village, there lived a man named Kwame. He was strong, respected, and always walked with pride. From when he was young, Kwame believed one thing: a man is not complete until he has a son. For Kwame, a son was more than just a child. A son was his future, his power, his family's name, his pride. When Kwame married Abena, a gentle and kind woman, he told her on the very first night, "Abena, listen to me. I want a son, not a daughter. A son will carry my name, my blood. Promise me you will give me a son." Abena looked down, her voice soft. "Kwame, children are from God. We will take what he gives." But Kwame shook his head and said firmly, "No, I must have a son, at all cost." Months passed. Abena became pregnant. Everyone in the family was happy, but no one was happier than Kwame. Every day he told people in the market, "My wife is carrying my son. Soon my heir will come. My blood will continue." Some people blessed him, "May God give you a son." But others warned him, "Kwame, do not put pressure on Abena. Boy or girl, it is all in the hands of God." Kwame did not listen. He laughed and said, "I know my son is coming. I can already see him." During pregnancy, Abena suffered many times. Some days she was weak, some days she cried. But Kwame never asked much about her health. He only asked, "Tell me, Abena, do you feel it is a boy? Do you feel my son is inside you?" Abena's heart felt heavy, but she stayed silent. She only whispered, "Only God knows." The day of delivery came. It was late night. Abena screamed in pain. The women of the village gathered to help. The old midwife, Mama Zola, came with her basket of herbs and cloth. Kwame waited outside the hut, walking round and round. His heart beat fast, sweat rolled down his face. He prayed again and again. "Please God, give me a son, a strong boy who will carry my name. Nothing else matters, only a son." Inside the hut, Abena cried louder. Mama Zola encouraged her, "Push, my child, you are strong. Breathe." The fire in the corner burned slowly. The air was filled with tension. Outside, neighbors gathered and whispered, "Will it be a boy or a girl? We hope Kwame will accept whatever comes." But everyone knew Kwame's dream. He wanted a son. Only a son. After many hours, the moment came. Abena pushed with her last strength. Then, the cry of a newborn filled the hut. The women smiled. The baby was born. But when Mama Zola, the midwife, looked at the child carefully, her face changed. Something was not as expected. Something that would change Kwame's life forever. She wrapped the baby and touched Abena's hand. Abena, weak but worried, asked in a low voice, "Mama Zola, is it a boy?" Mama Zola stayed silent for a moment. She looked at the child again, then at Abena. Finally, she said softly, "Rest now, my child. You have been very brave." Outside, Kwame shouted, "Tell me, is it my son? Did my son come?" Mama Zola took a deep breath. She knew. The truth she was about to tell Kwame would break his heart and change everything in this house forever. The hut was quiet, except for the small cry of the newborn. The firelight made shadows dance on the wall. Mama Zola, the midwife, looked at the baby in her hands again. She shook her head slowly. This was not the son Kwame was waiting for. The baby was a girl, but not only a girl, there was something more. Mama Zola could see a small mark on the baby's chest, a birthmark shaped like a strange symbol. In the old days, the elders said such marks carried meaning. Some said it was a blessing. Some said it was a warning. Mama Zola whispered to herself, "Oh, ancestors, why did you put this sign on this child?" Abena, lying weak on the mat, looked at her with fear. "Mama Zola, please tell me, is it a son? Is it my husband's dream?" Mama Zola sighed deeply. She touched Abena's shoulder and said slowly, "No, Abena, it is not a son, it is a daughter, but this child is not ordinary. She carries a mark from the ancestors. Her life will bring change, big change." Abena's eyes widened. She was both afraid and confused. Change? What kind of change? But Mama Zola only said, "Time will tell, my child. For now, rest. You need strength." Outside, Kwame's voice grew louder. He could not wait any longer. "Mama Zola, tell me, is it a boy? Don't keep me waiting." The women inside looked at each other with worry. They all knew Kwame's heart. They all knew how much he had spoken about wanting a son. Mama Zola took a deep breath, held the baby close, and stepped outside the hut. The moon was shining bright in the sky. The villagers were standing around waiting for the news. Kwame ran forward, his eyes wide with hope. "Is it my son? Is my heir here?" he asked, his voice shaking with excitement. Mama Zola looked straight at him and said slowly, "Kwame, it is a girl." For a moment, silence filled the whole compound. Kwame's face froze. His smile disappeared. His body stiffened like a tree in dry season. "What? A girl?" he shouted. His voice was full of anger. "No, Mama Zola, you must be wrong. Look again. I told you, it must be a son." But Mama Zola shook her head. "The child is a girl, and Kwame," she paused, "this girl is special. She carries a mark from the ancestors. Her life will bring lessons, whether you like it or not." The villagers gasped. Some women nodded and whispered, "This is a powerful child." Others looked afraid, not understanding what the mark could mean. But Kwame only heard one thing: "It is a girl." He shouted, his anger boiling over. "I don't want to hear your stories of ancestors. I wanted a son, not a cursed daughter with strange marks. How can I face the men in the market now? They will laugh at me." The villagers murmured, but no one dared to stop him. Mama Zola stood strong. She raised her hand and said firmly, "Kwame, listen to me. You can reject the child, but you cannot reject what destiny has chosen. This girl carries blood, and blood cannot be denied." Kwame turned away in frustration, pulling at his hair. "No, I cannot accept this. A daughter will not carry my name. A daughter is weak. I need a son." Back inside the hut, Abena heard everything. Tears rolled down her cheeks. She held her baby close, whispering, "My child, don't listen. You are mine. I will protect you, even if your father rejects you." The baby stopped crying, as if she understood her mother's voice. Her small eyes opened, and for a moment, Abena thought she saw wisdom in those tiny eyes. The night was long. Kwame refused to enter the hut. He sat outside, his face dark, his heart heavy. The villagers slowly went home, shaking their heads, whispering, "Kwame's pride will bring him trouble." Mama Zola stayed inside with Abena, watching the baby. She told Abena stories of old times, when children with marks grew to change villages, to bring new paths. "Your daughter may be the one to lift your family," Mama Zola said softly, "but your husband is blind with pride. He does not see." Abena nodded weakly. She kissed her child's forehead. When morning came, Kwame entered the hut finally. High. His eyes were cold. He looked at Abena and the child without love. "Abena," he said, "you failed me. You could not give me a son. What use is this daughter to me?" Abena cried silently but held the baby tighter. Mama Zola stepped between them and said, "Kwame, remember my words. The midwife does not lie. This child is not just a girl. She is chosen. If you reject her, your life will not remain the same. You will learn a lesson you will never forget." Kwame glared at her, his pride burning like fire. "We shall see, but mark my words, I will have a son, even if it breaks my house, even if it breaks my heart." Mama Zola only shook her head. "Your stubbornness will bring tears, Kwame." That morning, the baby's name was given. Abena called her Nia, which means purpose. She believed this child was born for a reason, even if her father could not see it yet. And so the story of Nia began, a story that would test Kwame's pride, Abena's love, and the truth of the midwife's revelation. Because what Mama Zola saw that night was only the beginning. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Baby Nia was growing fast. She smiled when her mother Abena sang to her. She held Mama Zola's finger tightly, but her father, Kwame, never smiled at her. Every time he looked at her, his heart became hard. He said to himself again and again, "A daughter cannot carry my name. I need a son." One evening when the moon was bright, Kwame sat with his friends in the marketplace. They drank palm wine and laughed loudly. One of the men asked him, "Kwame, so, is your new child a boy or girl?" Kwame's face turned dark. He looked away, but another friend laughed. "Ha! I heard it is a girl. Kwame, the strong farmer, the great man. Only daughters, no son. Ha ha!" The men laughed. The sound was like knives cutting Kwame's pride. He hit the table and shouted, "Enough! I will have a son, even if I must take another wife." The laughter stopped. Everyone looked at him. Kwame's pride was growing into fire. That night he returned home and told Abena, "Listen to me. You gave me a daughter. That is not enough. I will marry again. I will find another woman to give me a son." Abena's heart broke. Tears rolled down her cheeks. She held little Nia close and said softly, "Kwame, a child is a gift, boy or girl. Do not insult the ancestors." But Kwame shouted, "No, my name needs a son. My land, my goats, my farm, all must go to my son, not to a weak daughter." Abena cried all night. Mama Zola heard and came in the morning. She warned Kwame again. "Prideful man, listen. If you do not accept what the ancestors give, pain will come. This daughter you reject may be your savior tomorrow." But Kwame did not listen. His ears were closed. His heart was hard. Months later, Kwame brought home a new wife, young and beautiful. Her name was Efua. The village women shook their heads. "Abena is kind, yet he brings another wife only for a son," they whispered. Abena remained quiet. She carried her pain inside her heart. She cared for little Nia, while Kwame showed all his love to Efua, hoping she would give him a boy. Soon, Efua became pregnant. Kwame danced around the compound, shouting, "This time it will be a son. The ancestors cannot deny me again." He bought new clothes for Efua. He killed a goat to celebrate, but he gave nothing for Abena and little Nia. Abena only watched in silence, her eyes full of sadness. The day of Efua's delivery came. Mama Zola was called again. The night was long, the screams were loud. Finally, a baby's cry filled the hut. Kwame waited outside, his heart racing. "At last, my son is here," he shouted. But when Mama Zola came out, her face was serious. She said slowly, "Kwame, the child is not a boy, it is a girl, and Efua is very weak. She cannot stand. She needs rest." Kwame's mouth fell open. He felt like the earth was shaking. "Another girl? No, this cannot be. Why are the gods punishing me?" he cried. The villagers whispered again. "Kwame's pride is being broken. He wants only sons, but the ancestors give daughters." Days passed. Efua became more and more sick. She could not work. She could not cook. Kwame grew frustrated. He shouted at Abena to take care of both houses, her own baby, Nia, Efua, and the newborn girl. Abena worked day and night. Her body became weak, but her spirit was strong. She prayed for strength. One dark night, a heavy storm came. The wind roared, the rain poured, the river rose. Kwame's farm was in danger. His goats cried loudly. Kwame ran outside to save his animals, but the flood was too strong. He slipped and fell into the rushing water. He shouted for help, but the villagers were far. The river was pulling him away. Then suddenly a small voice cried from the hut. It was baby Nia. Her cry was loud, louder than the storm. Mama Zola, who was near, heard the cry and rushed outside. She saw Kwame in the water. She shouted, "Hold on," and called the men of the village. The men came running. With ropes and long sticks, they pulled Kwame out from the angry river. He lay on the ground, coughing, his life almost gone. Mama Zola looked at him and said, "Do you see, Kwame? The cry of the daughter you reject saved your life tonight. If Nia had not cried, I would not have gone outside. You would now be dead." Kwame lay still. His pride was broken. His heart shook. He realized the truth. The daughter he called useless was the one who saved him. Tears filled his eyes. He whispered, "Ancestors, forgive me. I was blind." He went inside the hut. Abena was holding little Nia. Kwame fell on his knees. He touched Nia's tiny hand and cried, "Forgive me, my child. Forgive your foolish father. You are not weak. You are strong. You are my blood." Abena wept too. For the first time, Kwame kissed his daughter on the forehead. From that day, Kwame changed. He no longer spoke of shame. He no longer chased only after a son. He raised his daughters with love. He worked for them, taught them, protected them. The villagers said, "Kwame has learned." The midwife's words were true. The daughter he rejected became his blessing. Mama Zola smiled. She looked at Naya, who was growing strong. She whispered, "Child, your name is purpose. Truly, you were born for a reason." In life, pride can blind us. We think we know what we need, but the ancestors, the Creator, always know better. A child, whether son or daughter, is a gift. Rejecting the gift brings pain. Accepting it brings blessing. Kwame sit down slowly, his hands still on his head. He cannot believe what he hear. The midwife look at him and say, "Kwame, sometimes God give what we do not expect, but it is always a blessing." Amma hold her belly tight. Tears fall from her eyes, but now they are tears of hope, not only fear. She whisper, "Kwame, no matter what, this is our child, our gift." Kwame look at Amma. He see her pain, her courage, her love. Slowly his face change. The anger and the pride begin to fall away. He kneel beside her bed and hold her hand. "My wife, forgive me. I only wanted a son, but I almost forget that every child is a gift. Boy or girl, it is our blood, our family." Amma smile weakly. The midwife nod her head with wisdom. The room become quiet, but full of new peace. And that day, Kwame learned the truth. Sometimes life give us not what we want, but what we need. If you enjoy this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more powerful African stories that touch the heart.